Hello everyone, I'm Emma and today I'm gonna show you my own Rome tier list. I have a disclaimer before I introduce you to this tier list. The positioning criteria is purely based on my own experience in the game and the picks from pro players on this last MPL. Of course, just because your favorite hero is low in my ranking doesn't mean you should stop playing it. As I always say, play who you like and who makes the game enjoyable for you. Lastly, this ranking is heavily based on our current meta, so keep that in mind as you continue watching. I've been playing this role since I discovered the game, and it has now been a lot of years playing as a roamer, so I can confidently say, you will get insulted. You will be blamed for every single wrong gank, for your pick.
You have to pick a tank.
For your map awareness.
Why aren't you babysitting me in gold lane?
And many other small things, like stealing a minion while saving someone's life. So, if you intend to pick up this role, go to a therapist first. Without further ado, let's get into the tier list. As you can see, we have 6 tiers. On the SS tier, or OP tier, we have the must-pick/must-ban heroes. These are the roamers you either play or ban. Here we have Matilda, the real carry of the last seasons, Jawhead, and Badong. Matilda is what I consider the best enchanter, and has been my carry for the last 3 seasons, considering the current one. Absurd movement speed, decent damage, and lots of shields and healing. With the right build and a decent squad around, she will carry all your ganks. Her movement speed is unbeatable by any champ, and her second skill is a game changer, moving the carry around the map at the speed of light. Her only counters are some AD carries, as they are the only ones that can deal damage during her ultimate. Outside of her ult though, they are useless against her just like the other heroes. She requires a good team that can follow her in ganks and around the map, no soloing allowed. Right after her we have Jawhead. The fact that he can CC and throw heroes around while still dealing an insane amount of damage and having lots of movement speed makes him the second best roamer for this season. Badong had a huge spike thanks to his synergy with the Thunder Belt, giving him an absurd amount of damage while also being on a full tank build. His early game damage is also solid, and with his CC and walls, he brings super strong engage tools. But, with that being said, I think he works best in the EXP lane. If you play with a team, you can flex him in both EXP and roam roles. On the S tier we have the 3 most used tanks, Beleric, Hylos, and Gattaca. They are all very viable picks, depending on the team comp you have. Beleric is the best choice against AD carries and heroes who auto-attack a lot, while also being very good in teamfights thanks to his ulti. Gattaca has a similar concept. He doesn't shine against AD carries but works best along with teamfights heroes. Hylos on the other hand is better than them on 1v1s, while still being good in teamfights. They are all tanks who can throw themselves into fights, but can still work well by following a single carry. I put Kalea and Chip right after them. In my opinion, Kalea is a very good unit but she isn't played enough to stay in a higher tier. She has a strong ult that can be moved around but works only on a singular hero, and we already have similar ults that can do it better, for example, Tigreal. As a single target roamer, she is basically a better Cho. A nice add-on is that she can heal and has a strong CC on her second skill, while also having an ult that can't be flashed out of, but that isn't strong enough to make her an OP roamer. With that being said, I think that if she's played well and with a team that can follow her engages, she can make a great roamer, even better than the trio before of her. About Chip, he was kind of forgotten after he came out because of the nerfs, but I think he is now back in a good position. His gameplay is very particular, having access to teleports around the map, making him gain lots of movement without having to walk. His ult is also kinda niche, similar to Luoyi's ultimate. It's pretty strong and can create team fights that wouldn't otherwise happen, while also staying on the field for a lot of time, giving you the opportunity to enter even if you were too far when it was being casted. The bad side? Anyone can enter the ULT, even enemies, so be careful where and when you cast it. With that being said, I would still put him in the last slot of this tier. No one plays him and he isn't on Kalea's level. In the A tier I put some roamers that aren't the best, but can still work and shine in some specific comps. Tigreal and Carmilla all depend on their ultimates, having to play only for team fights. They need a team that can follow up the engage and deal decent damage. Glue is the new discovery of the season. Thanks to his new buffs he is now a very solid roamer. In my opinion he works best in the EXP lane, giving him the opportunity to become an unstoppable tank with insane DMG during his ulti. Hilda and Calheed are also some solid picks, but can't give much to the team except a lot of damage and small CCS. They are very durable, have a lot of self-healing, and it can be hard to put them down, giving their team lots of time to kill the enemies. Thanks to their strong passives, they have the highest early game DMG and can bully the enemies. They usually can 1v1 almost any laner because of their high damage. Then we have Cho, not much to say, just a worse Kalea with more damage. For the Enchanters girlies, don't worry I didn't forget about you, we have two solid picks, Angela and Rafaela. Despite being pretty difficult to play in a lot of teams and being always the second choice in a tank meta, Enchanters can still be a good pick. Angela is pretty useless before level 4, but she only gets better with time, having insane healing and shields in late game. Of course, having a single target ULT, she will need a good carry and a team that can sustain damage while she's ulting away. And do not underestimate her CC, because it always lasts more than you think. Meanwhile Rafaela, despite being an enchanter, can still have a pretty aggressive gameplay. With her low CD abilities, she can spam slows on the enemies while spamming heals on her teammates. Her ULT is a very strong CC that can also be spammed. Thanks to her low cooldowns, she can engage with her ULT and still be useful in team fights. The latest trend? Playing her with the belt. She can stack it easily and gain durability to DMG, try it out for yourself. Moving on, we have the B tier. I've put Johnson in B not because he is weak, but because he doesn't work in team fights and he is useless without his ultimate. He is also very difficult to play, having to constantly focus the enemy's carry, and needing a high DMG carry on the team to drive around the map. I'm sure everybody knows the combo Johnson-Odette, because it is the only way to make Johnson useful in a team fight, by creating it with Odette's ulti. Edith is a tank that focuses on engaging. She has a lot of damage during her ULT and has lots of durability during team fights. She can scale pretty well in late game, but she is kind of a hit or miss. For the enchanter side, we have Florin, which is basically a better Estus. Thanks to the insane healing and her spammable CC, she makes a good pick. Her passive is a very nice add-on, giving the carry more DMG, and her ultimate is immune to anti-heal. The downside is that she is very weak, has no mobility whatsoever, and if she gets targeted she dies instantly, becoming useless. In the C tier we have the almost dark system heroes, slightly better than our last tier, which we'll see later. Here we have Minotaur, Franco, Grok, Akai, Atlas, Kaya, Kufra, Estus, Minchitter, and Diggy. Aside from the usual tanks, Minchitter and Diggy are played only to counter heroes, much like Lolita. Minchitter's ULT deletes all dashes while on field, Diggy's ULT purifies all CCS, and Lolita's second skill sends back all abilities that are considered projectiles. As you can see, Lolita is on a higher tier, simply for a reason, she can work well even outside of counters. And finally, we got the D tier, the dark system tier, having heroes that are absolutely useless and only played in losing matches. Natalia and Saber, just two random assassins that focus on killing the enemy's carry and are useless in everything else. Uranus and Basha, two random tanks that work better in the EXP lane. Another EXP laner, Ruby, can be annoying but cannot work outside of her lane. Faramis and Selena, outdated heroes that can only be seen doing damage in the mid lane, much like Nana, she is a mid laner for God's sake. With that being said, this is how my Roam tier list ends. I hope you enjoyed watching. As always, if you don't agree with some positions or think that I left something out, write it in the comments. Please leave a like and follow for more tier lists and videos.